just a bloke in a bar.
Oh! Oh! Oh, yeah, baby. Whew. Oh, yeah. There's more. You got more on you, baby. Oh! Oh, yeah, baby.
Oh, my God.
Pack her up, boys. It's back.
Holy shit.
That'll get you going, baby. If that doesn't get you going on a Friday, even if you don't enjoy the music, that gets the blood flowing. It gets it flowing.
I don't enjoy that music, but you're right.
The energy is up, is it not?
The energy's up.
Exactly.
Yep.
And it's proudly brought to you by Bloke Beer. Get in your local, grab a case of Bloke Beer. Enjoy the bloody weekend. It's been a long week. You worked your ass off. The boss, he's telling you, she's telling you all the bad shit to do. All the easy stuff gets given to someone else. All the shit stuff gets given to you. So enjoy your weekend. Enjoy it. Just take all those little worries, put them in a little box in your head and say, hey, that's Monday's problem, baby. That's right. Monday's problem. So grab a case of Bloke Beer, enjoy it. Even if you don't grab a case of Bloke Beer, still enjoy your weekend. Now, pack her up, boys. She's back in full swing. Actually had morning glory with the great Matthew Johns and Andrew Webster and Benny Hogarth this morning, which is really cool to be back with them.
Yeah.
With them pretty much full time now in regards to every single week. It's so weird when you kind of go, oh, yeah, just had me show with Matty John. You get so used to it. Like Matty's a friend now, like an actual friend that, go grab a feed together, all that kind of stuff. And, if you had said that to me 3 years ago, I would have said, 3 or 4 years ago, I would have said, holy heckers. And it's just so funny how quickly you get used to saying that when you should be so grateful for it.
Yeah. Like, I think I've met him twice now since. So once when he came on the podcast and once when we went to their house for a different reason. And both times were like some of the most surreal. Sorry, your camera is... All right, don't, it's focusing up now. Some of the most...
The beak threw it off.
Yeah, seriously.
The beak's depth perception, the camera's going, what's going on?
Seriously, what's
going on? It's not a normal
on?
human face. What's it doing?
Seriously, when he was in there, on that desk over there, spinning the answer to you, it was like I was just sitting there in absolute awe. It was so surreal. Yeah, he just seems bigger than life, a larger than life character.
Yeah, and yet still so incredibly humble.
Well, that's
actually
the thing that blows me away.
Yeah, that's just the most, not surprising,
Yeah,
but
it's not surprising.
You'd almost like, bro, you're given a bit of leeway to be.
Feel free to be
feel free to be a fuckwit.
Yeah.
You've earned the fuckwit tag where we all just go, oh yeah, he's a fuckwit, but he's so good, we just got to cop it.
Yeah.
You've earned that tag. But shout out, go and subscribe. It's called Backstage with Coops, Cooper Johns. I was going to say Matty Cooper. Cooper Johns and Matty Johns, brand new podcast. And this is what I want to sell. And this is like not even an ad. This is not even an ad. But this is how I, as a consumer of content, an absolute pig, just trough of give me content. That's what I'm like every single day. This is like dessert. Because it is Cooper Johns, Matty Johns.
Yeah.
Cooper Johns looking to make a name for himself in the content game. So he's going to come out towy and horny. And then you got Matty Johns, the actual GOAT. And so they've got a podcast. And some of their guests initially are like Warner, the Warners.
Both Warners.
Both Warners together. Mark Boris.
Cleary
off the bat. Luke Brooks. There was a couple others. Can you get the video up on your phone, please?
Yeah.
Because if you follow Backstage on Instagram, you'll see the preview looking all schmick, all nice. And I love the setup of it because what a unique vibe to have Matty and Coops interviewing a third party. It's very different to like me sitting across from someone and doing an interview. But who's some of the guests you got there?
Right, I'll just play it in the speaker.
The Warners, Candice and Dave Warner together. Nathan Cleary, wow. And then Mark Boris. From the world of business as well. Our good friend from film, Matty Nable.
There you go. Talk about opening strong.
Far out.
Might be the strongest podcast opening ever.
Could be
at least in Australia.
Could be like Get Rich or Die Trying areas. First album, just
yeah, fair. I mean, look, as I said, think about the breadth of content you can get from that. You got the young fella in Coops. You got Matty, his breadth of knowledge in all things, including rugby league, plus also them talking about footy as well. So give that a follow, guys. Very exciting times.
Matty Naves will be a good one.
Matty Naves, I hope he opens with like a poem. Here I am on the dusty plains of the podcasting game. I wonder if he ever imagined himself as like the voice. Because basically Rabs before, I'd assume. Rabs?
Yeah.
Pretty much. And then Nabes has just come in and, I mean, I call him Nabes like, I know the bloke. Don't know the bloke. But, geez, he delivers some yarns. He's good. And just think about, all of the things in the future that are going to be huge that you'll almost be waiting for his voiceover. It's like the Gus Gould pre-Origin yarns, which please bring them back, even though he said he's not going to do them anymore. But, Matty and I almost, I mean, although we haven't had a replacement of Rabs in the commentary box, and we'll never have a replacement of Rabs, ever, period. But I feel like when it comes to voiceovers like that, we've got a very different version that is almost becoming iconic, whereas in commentary, we haven't really found the guy that has become iconic yet.
True.
In commentary. But anyway, speaking of Mats, how's your week been, bro?
Been good. Have you heard of NF, the rapper?
I have.
Not a fan?
No. I don't really like whingy rap.
Oh, yeah, it's dark.
It's like,
dark.
like one or two songs here or there about like how tough your life is.
Yeah.
I'll cop it. But if you're always rapping about me, so it's like, bruh. Is life really that bad?
Incredibly dark.
Yeah, but is it really that bad? Like, and look, I don't know. I don't even know his personal story or whatever. But me as a consumer, from a consumer's perspective, I understand a song here or there.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to be down all the time, baby. I'm trying to be happy. I'm trying to be like, you know what? I'm really lucky. I'm alive, baby. I live in Australia. Super lucky. So a bit too dark for me. A bit too, but hey, I'm not hating. I'm sure there's people that love it.
It's a very, he's very cult-like, his audience, I think.
Very passionate. Very passionate.
God, don't diss him.
Don't diss him. So, yeah, look, I've heard of him for sure.
Yeah.
But not my cup of tea, unfortunately.
Yeah, fair. Well, I'm going to his concert tonight, so I'll let you know how it is.
So are you just randomly going to his concert, or you're a fan
No,
of
I
him?
used to be a fan. I used to love his music. I don't really have anything to whinge about these days, so I don't really listen anymore.
Why'd you buy tickets then?
Nah, because I used to love him. I
So Matty had a bit of angst about him a bit ago.
Oh, a few years ago. I had a bit of angst. A bit of angst.
Oh my God.
Just a little bit. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm keen to see what the crowd's like there.
Yeah, be interesting. Interesting mix, because he's like a YouTube rapper, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no, he's talented.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. But for me personally, just not my vibe.
I'm conflicting because Eminem dissed him once, so I'm so conflicted.
Well, he said, "an effing a clone of me."
Yeah.
You don't really know whether that's a.
Yeah, if it's just he's like collateral damage and just a play on words. That
it could be just a play on words,
Yeah.
but also like, he did pave the way. Like, and there are similarities to the way he's done his thing. Even though the good thing that Eminem always brought is like he'd have his serious song, but then the rest would be the like hectic, old school hip hop kind of delivery.
Yeah.
Then his fun songs as well. Then his club songs as well. And look, I'm sure there's an NF fan out there going,
Oh yeah,
you serious? There's all like, look at his discography. And if that is true, you win. You're right. You're totally right. All I know is the things that I've seen of him and tried to listen to have been very like deep and emotional.
yeah.
So that's the only taste I've got from him.
Well, that's him. That's him. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. What else has been going on, mate?
Well, yeah. No, seriously, honestly, and this is, I probably like sound like a broken record, but just it's February, so like it's humid. It's one of those months where it's just like, let's just get to March. Let's get to rugby league.
Yeah.
So that's me at the moment.
It's insane. There's trials this week.
Oh, I can't believe it.
It is like Vegas is in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that fucking wild?
Like the season is back. Like the start of because when a season ends, it's like that was a juggernaut. Like you're sitting there, like after 2023, you're sitting there going, like, wow, that was a lot.
Yeah.
It's like so intense the whole year. And now we're like a couple of weeks away from that intensity again.
Yeah.
But it's so exciting because officially, and I don't know if anyone knows this, but Vlandy's just got off the phone from him, and this week's trials are officially called the Could Be Anything trials.
Oh, wow. Really?
Just got off the phone officially. So, they've got the preseason cup and the charity shield. This is called the Could Be Anything shield of trials.
Yeah, right.
So
Well,
everyone's playing for a Could Be Anything shield.
Yeah, right. Well, you know what? It's because I looked at the team list before. It's such a wide range. Like Manly basically named half their squad. South have named a couple of first graders, but mostly
Well, I think
not.
Manly's doing that because of Vegas being soon.
Yeah, right. I don't
So
know.
they're trying to get reps into the boys.
Yeah, fair.
So they can win round 1 or round 0 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But Yeah, it's exciting. I love this trial. I probably love this trial, honestly, maybe the most, maybe, because this is genuinely like, and just to give people an insight of this can, if you don't go well at this trial as a rookie, as a guy coming through or a girl coming through, this can set you back a year. Because basically what happens is you can be complete obscurity right now, like in regards to no one knows who you are. You're just in a top squad, ripping and a tearing. You go out and rip and tear in this game, it literally can change your life. You can go from a guy that's on a training trial to round one starting if you go and play well in the second and third trial. It is a life-changing trial. Whereas like, by the time, let's say you go okay here, but then you kill it in the second trial, it's almost a bit too late to get that jump on that last trial. But yeah, the nerves going into this. And see, I remember, I'm pretty sure I got my break in, I think it was, like, apologies if I got this wrong, and not that anyone will even remember, except for myself. So basically what happened, I got my break from, it was a trial against the Canberra Raiders, but what it was it was half of the fringies, as in rookies, in the Broncos top 30.
Yep.
And then half of it of Redcliffe Dolphins Q Cup side. And we played the Raiders in a trial, NRL side, and we beat them.
Really?
Yeah. And
Wow.
and so I went really well in that, and that essentially like changed my life because I proved that, I can make an impact against NRL sides.
Did you play? Do you remember any? Did you play fullback? Did you play wing?
It would have been a mix of both.
Yeah.
It would have been a mix of both. I was actually, I actually played a bit of fullback coming through. Like, people think I was just out and out winger. I debuted at fullback.
Yeah.
And so, like, I mean, there was a period there where it was kind of between me and Darbs as the next man up behind Carmichael. So, and like, obviously ended up on the wing and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so this trial, it's make or break. Like, it really is make or break. I'm trying to think of some guys that stood out that last year. Some guys that stood out in this trial last year. I know Billy Walters had a really good first trial.
That's
this
right.
one.
Yep.
I think Tomato Martin, when he was at the Broncos, looked really slick in this one. But anyway, I'll be watching. I'll be absolutely watching.
Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, because it's only 3 this week, and then we got next week. I think everyone plays, but I think it will mostly be the young blokes that week. I'm pretty sure. And then in 2 weeks, the second week of trials will be a lot of first graders in. So
what is it? You're saying there's going to be 4 trials?
No. So this week is like the 3 games. Then next week is the first real week of the preseason cup, and then the second week after that.
Yeah. So there's 3 trials. The second week you'll probably see most first graders except the big dogs.
Yeah.
Or the big dogs will get like 10, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the third week you'll see pretty much what your side is going to look like on round 1, except for 1 or 2 positions.
Absolutely.
So really, really exciting. Really exciting. Brought to you by Sportsbet. Massive shout out to our fans at Sportsbet. Hey, I'm sure they're fans of Bloke.
Surely.
To our partners at Sportsbet. Had a great day down in Melbourne shooting shooting an ad with the great Samithade. It was an outstanding day. Flew back out last night and got straight to the studio this morning. So, yeah, she's moving and shaking. The season is officially back.
Oh, yeah.
The season is officially back. But, yeah, if you're going to punt, you do it with Sportsbet. Best in the business. But make sure, gamble responsibly. You win some, but you lose more.
When those SAN gigs coming back, that tells you the season's.
Yeah,
that tells you
for
the
sure.
season's
When
back.
the SEN gigs coming back, and basically when you look at what you're going to be doing every day, you got Monday podcast, Wednesday podcast, Thursday podcast, Friday podcast, or 2 podcasts on Friday, but then also you got the player interviews, you've got the appearances, you've got the content you got to make. But it's an exciting time. Far out, it's an exciting time. Huge news. Joseph Manu set to leave the Roosters, take up most likely French rugby, potentially Japanese rugby, but most likely French rugby. I'm going to be honest, I've kind of felt, I wasn't sure about the rugby thing, but I've kind of felt like he was going to leave the Roosters for a while now.
Yeah.
Just because you could tell he wants to play fullback. You could tell that he wants, it's not necessarily about the money, because reportedly they had $850K to offer him. I'd be really interested to see, that's a lot of money in that back line. Anyway. So it's more about, I guess, he wants to play fullback at the Roosters. He can't, and he doesn't want to play for any other NRL club. So French rugby may be the go. And so maybe the plan is he goes away and plays for a year or so and then comes back when Teddy retires.
Yeah.
The thing is, Teddy's only going to be 33, I think, when this contract ends.
Yeah, but Manu did say that if he goes to rugby, he doesn't want to come back.
Yeah, so that's a strange one too. And also, if you're getting paid $1 million over in France, now the French rugby union comp is good, so it's not like he's going to play, not tough footy, but it's not as tough on the body as league is. Like league is, especially as a back, league is much tougher on the body than union.
Yeah.
But getting paid $1 million to live in Europe, pretty bloody good.
Thank you.
Pretty bloody good. So because he's already won Golden Boot, played for the Kiwis, won comps.
Yep.
Dally M Centre of the Year, I'm pretty sure he's won. Surely at least one.
I'd say he's won.
Well,
one.
if he hasn't, he's been one of the best centres in the comp. It's like, what else is
He's
there?
got nothing left to do.
Like, what else is there to prove?
Yeah.
He's got nothing left to prove. He's a gun. Go get the big payday and experience life. Like what? Like if there were, think about the incredible, not luck because he's worked his ass off for it, but like privilege of living in Europe on $1 million a year.
Yeah.
Like that is pinnacle of life kind of stuff. That is something that like 90% or even more, 95% of the whole population in the world would never even dream of. And you get to go over there, play a bit of rugby union. And I think he played a bit growing up and get paid $1 million playing all these hectic stadiums, travel Europe, travel everywhere. I mean, that's what a reward for an incredible career.
Absolutely. And I love that he's doing it. He's in the peak of his career, basically. He's like, 28, something like that.
Yeah.
So he could play rugby for like 8 or 9 years if he wants to.
I mean, yeah, especially, as an outside back, float around there. Maybe, so what is he, 27, 28? I think he's only 27.
Yeah, I'll have a look.
He's not that much older than Trell.
Jeez, it feels like he's been around forever.
So I think he's 27. And so think you get over there, got at least 5 years in him. At least 5 years.
27 years old.
So 5 years in him, like, mate, living the dream. And then like, okay, he signs a 3 or 4 year deal, and then the next deal, it might only be 400 or 500K a year. Still bloody good over in Europe. It shows you also, the Roosters is such a well-run organisation. Like the fact that he is so loyal and he loves the club so much, he's like, I do not want to play for another club.
Yeah.
Just shows you what an organisation.
You never see that, eh? Not these days. You never hear anyone really say that.
Especially when he can get $1 million at another club. Like Dragons, if he said tomorrow, Dragons want 1.2, they'd say, yep, boom, done.
Yeah.
There's a contract. And he's going, no, I want to go to France, and like I think we're so caught up in our own bubble that we go, oh yeah, he's going over, because I like the Super League kind of myth of you go over to Super League, it's not as big as NRL. We kind of conflate that with Union. But what we don't realise is that he may go to Union and have bigger experiences than he's had in the NRL.
Yeah.
Like bigger stadiums, bigger crowds, more passionate, more on the line. Like we're talking about a huge country, and also obviously being in Europe as well. Like the experiences he can have over there could be bigger than the ones he has in NRL. So it's not even like he's going backwards for money. Like he could be going forwards and having even bigger experiences on the sporting stage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy the position that he's put himself in, Joey Manu. It's ridiculous. So yeah, if I was here, like again, what I said before, he's doing it in the peak of his career. So that's the best part about it, I think.
And I think he'd go all right at Union. He surely played a fair bit of it growing up. Big body, you'd probably put him in the centres. But what an experience. Tell you what, I wonder if he's single. Do you know if he's single?
No, he just got married.
Oh, he just got married?
Yeah.
Well, what a beautiful first few years of the
Oh,
marriage.
I know, right?
Geez, maybe he's a sweetheart. Maybe he's a romance.
He looks like
He
it.
looks like he
Yeah.
loves a bit of romance. Joey,
Yeah.
that skin doesn't get that smooth if you don't like romance.
No way.
People with rough skin don't like romance.
Yeah.
People with smooth skin love romance.
Love romance, 100%.
And so, look, maybe he's gone, you know what, $1 million, plus I get to take my beautiful wife to Positano and speak Italiano. Buongiorno. No, that's French. That's French. What's the word? What's the word when you say hello? No, not buenas noches. Can't believe I'm forgetting it now. Not hola. Hola's not the one. Hola is Spanish.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't believe I'm getting it.
Hang on.
Anyway, he'll go over there, learn some languages.
Wait,
enjoy his
what language did you want again?
Italian.
Oh, Italian,
So
sorry.
hello. I literally was saying it.
Ciao.
Ciao is hello. I think, yeah, you can say it in any situation. I think
Yeah.
buongiorno.
Buongiorno is French.
Yeah. Anyway, there you go. Not a very cultured man myself. But yeah, I think it's like, now, how does this affect the Roosters?
Yeah.
Funnily enough, like the Roosters, like a well-oiled machine. This story gets out literally less than 24 hours. Billy Smith is re-signed till 2027.
Yep.
Just like think about how strong of a club you got to be to control the narrative.
I know.
That it gets out in the media. Yep, Joey's pretty much gone.
Yep.
But he hasn't fully gone, but he's pretty much gone. Boom, Billy Smith is signed the next day.
Ridiculous.
Well-oiled machine. That is like grandmaster, well-oiled machine. Like unbelievable stuff. And Billy Smith, what a journey.
Yep.
Like the amount of injuries this poor bloke has gone through and just kept digging in. And to be given a contract for 2027, like Joey Manu's story is inspirational in its own right for what he's achieved. And, but if any young kid wants to look at like an inspiring story, Billy Smith is an inspiring story.
Absolutely. Like so many ACLs. Like he just kept getting up. He was obviously, like we all talk about it, he was such a promising junior coming through. Like he played for New South Wales under 20s. We saw what he could do in NRL in some stages, but again, he just kept getting injured. As a South fan, I'm not, but I'm so glad as a rugby league fan that in that last game last year against South, he was able to score that try to pretty much take his team into the finals, knocks the arch enemy South out. Like, as much as it burned me, it was such a great moment for him and for the Roosters. So he deserved that 100%.
Yeah, and just the patience. Like Roosters, and you could say rightly so or wrongly so, but they get, I guess, accused of being super ruthless.
Yeah.
And look, they're here to win premierships, but they don't often get appreciated or respected enough for how loyal they are sometimes to players. And they have been super loyal to Billy Smith.
Exactly, yeah.
We've seen even just this off-season how quickly clubs can just go, nah, after one injury, nah, not interested. And Billy Smith has had like 1,000.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, I think it might have been his last ACL. I can't remember exactly, but pretty much as soon as he did it, they extended him for another year. Like, and that was a few years ago now.
Yeah.
So
So hopefully everyone reaps rewards. Now, Suoli and Manu both probably leaving.
Yeah.
It's crazy to say, oh yeah, they're a bit light on backs, But Tupou also maybe in his last year or two.
Yep.
So they're probably gonna have to go on the market. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I reckon Taylor May ends up at the Roosters.
Yeah, you sent that through last night, and it just immediately clicked in my head. I was like, wow, that is it just seems so.
Because reportedly Terrell May and the Bulldogs have gone cold on Terrell May because it's taking so long.
Yep.
Terrell May has been open. He was on the podcast saying, I want to play with my brothers. They have an outside back position free. Taylor May has not re-signed with the Panthers. I reckon they get him. They would clearly have cash to get a guy like Taylor May.
Well, I mean, what would you give Taylor May?
You might give him in this new salary cap.
Yeah. Yeah.
He might get anywhere up to maybe 6.
Yeah.
6.
And now we're going to throw 850 at Manu. So it's there for him.
And there's no way Panthers have 6 left for.
Oh, no way. They couldn't even squeeze an extra couple $100,000 to keep Lua. So
yeah, or Critter.
The Panthers won't be able to. If Taylor May wants to play with his brother and Terrell's there, it's a good bet.
So
it's a good bet.
I think if I'm a betting man, I think they're favourite to land him. I really do. Because also they might say, look, we'll give you 500, but you get to pay with your brother,
Yeah.
And I tell you what, him at the Roosters, in the centre position or even wing, scary, scary stuff. So young, far out. It'd be a bloody good get. I would love to know how the chat is going with the Panthers. Like, are they resigned to losing him, or is it quite a ways along and they're actually confident of keeping him? It's put a spanner in the work for Panthers because you would have, if you're the Penrith Panthers, you would have quite a lot of weight of going like sign for unders. But then the Roosters come out and say, oh, well, we can actually get you here with your brother.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's hard to fight against.
They won't be able to throw enough money at him for that.
Exactly. And also, so you with the Panthers, you could not be upset as a fan if they do lose Taylor May to the Roosters specifically, because you'd be like, how do they compete with that offer?
Yeah.
How do they compete with that offer?
Yeah. And also, if you're a Panthers fan, you took the West Tigers coach so he could coach his son. So
Well, it's not. I wasn't looking at it from that angle. I was looking at it from an angle of Panthers fans being like, "Oh, how come we didn't keep this player?
Yeah.
Why didn't we offer him more?" And also, it's actually worse for the Panthers because they took Tigers whilst he was contracted, whereas the Roosters are not taking. It's just normal. They're taking him while he's off contract. But no, I was more talking in a way of like, oh, we should have offered him more. For example, there's other clubs where like, they might go like, I don't know, Reid Marnie leaving the Eels. I'm sure there are some Eels fans going, why didn't we offer him more? He was so crucial or whatever. So that's the kind of direction I was looking at it from. If you're Taruva's management, you're going, if Taylor may stay.
Yeah.
Like we don't know that he will go, but Taruva's management probably sitting there going, okay, this is probably going to get more like, because I reckon they're probably going to have to. I reckon at the moment, the reason for the hold up of the signing is the Panthers are trying to keep both.
Yep.
And they're both probably like, so we've both got to be on unders. Whereas if one of them goes, then Taruva probably can go, well, I'm the next man up. I, get a bit more.
Yeah.
Look, the Panthers have nothing to worry about.
Oh, God, no.
So confident that they'll be able to sort it. So confident. So look, I think it's kind of, is it so shocking or surprising, this whole situation? Not really. Not really. I don't think it's so. I think the Roosters have done everything they can. I think Joey's done everything he can to stay. It is what it is. Luke Keary reportedly set to extend in 1 year, 2025. That was surprising to me. That was really surprising because I thought Keary, by the way he was talking, was kind of like, this might be my last contract. So, another year. What an opportunity to try and get another premiership for Luke Keary, having already won three.
Yeah, 2014, 2018, 2019.
Yeah, 3. I would love to know who's the next 6 they've got in line coming through. I should check their juniors out. Also, guys, don't forget, Mitch Marsh is our Mosh bounce back of the week. Use code BLOKE50 for $50 off your first treatment. Now, Campbell Graham, Rabbitohs centre Campbell Graham will undergo surgery next week to repair damage to his sternum, which will see him silent for the next 6 months. Graham played through the injury in 2023 and has trained throughout the preseason. However, a decision has been made to undergo surgery on the affected area. Graham is expected to be back on the field for Sydney at the back end of the regular season. Yeah, look, this one is very, very strange. I said on Morning Glory as well, like, look, I'm happy to not apologise, but I'm happy to be like, oh, that makes sense.
Yep.
If there was more information that has come out since the end of the season where, I don't know, he re-injured it, because I haven't seen one headline saying he re-injured it.
No. The what I've gathered from all the articles that I've read is that they thought he got some sort of, not surgery, some sort of treatment that they thought would make it heal over the summer with rest, and it hasn't done that.
Yeah. And so, look, as I said, if he's re-injured it, then that's a different story. It's like, But to me personally, unless they were looking at it like he could get surgery and the doctor said to him he could get to surgery and it could still be a problem. And then the other method they said he could do this, but it could still be a problem. Then maybe there's an argument to be made, okay, I understand why they're out like this. But if the idea is if he gets surgery, it gets fixed, I'm really, really surprised that if there was even a 10% chance that the method they used wasn't going to work, the second the season ended, he should have been in that surgery room getting fixed immediately. I am really, really surprised that they would risk a key player on the small chance he's going to be out for essentially the whole season on not just getting surgery immediately. It does not make any sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah, it's madness, really. And not only will he just say he comes back in round 20, because of this issue, he hasn't done contact all preseason. So, and he's not going to do any contact in recovery. So now when he comes back in, say, round 20, he hasn't really done anything for almost a year. So, yeah, they've just kind of kicked the can. It seems like, and again, if they come out and kind of explain, because it is a little bit confusing, and maybe there is a reason, but it just seems like they kicked the can down the road a bit.
People might go, oh, well, maybe Campbell Graham didn't want to do it, but it's not his decision.
No,
it's the specialists, the doctors and that, and then the staff that need to go, okay, get the advice from the doctors and make the call for him. Because Campbell Graham, he's so tough. He'd probably play the whole bloody. He did. He played the whole season last year with it. So he's too tough for his own good. I just would love to know what the thought process was. Like, say you walk into a room and they go, okay, mate, they've got surgery. That's going to put you out for about 6 months. So end of season, let's just say, what, September for them?
Yep.
So early September.
Yep. Early September.
So September, October, November, December, January, March. So basically, you will be ready. It'll be a no preseason for you, essentially, contact-wise, but you'll be ready for round 1. So let's just say we want to put 3 weeks of contact into you, or 4 weeks. You'll be ready by round 4.
Yep.
Or we've got this other option where we'll do it, and there's a chance you won't need surgery, but you still won't be able to do contact during the off-season, but you'll be ready for round 1 if it does work, but there's a chance it might not. The answer is clear which one you go.
Yeah, 100% surgery.
It's so clear. That's what I'm not getting. When you get those two options in front of you, the answer is like mind-blowingly clear as to what you do. And so there must be more to the story. I refuse to believe that a staff looked at those two options and said, you know what, let's risk it. Like, let's risk it.
Well, there's no upside. There's no upside to risking it. Like, now he's getting the surgery anyway.
There must be more to the story.
Well, South have been, the last couple of years, they've been a bit cagey with their, like, giving information out for injury. So I'm fearful we're not going to get answers for this.
Like, maybe they expected the non-surgery route, he would be back training in preseason by day 1. And that's why they went that route, because they wanted to give him a full preseason, or there's got to be more. For the life of me, I cannot believe that they had those two options in front of them and said, you know what, don't worry about the surgery. We're putting all our chips in on this in hopes that he plays round 1, when he probably would have been ready for round. Put it this way, at the least, he would have been ready for round 5 or 6.
Yeah,
at the very least.
Yeah, and you're fine with that. Like,
that's normal for a season. Like, a lot of players start the season around 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So
very. Like, South was supposed to come into this year with probably the best centre pairing in the comp. Like, you know, Jackie Whiten's the big signing, but now it's a huge setback. Like, he's not going to be ready till the back end of the season now.
But even when he is ready, he's not really ready.
Really ready, yeah.
And I'm devastated for Campbell Graham, because he started last year, arguably one of the best players in the comp bar position, like literally so red hot in form. Gets this injury.
Well, this injury's cost him Origin jersey, basically.
Yep.
And now it's cost him the 2024 season, most of it.
Pretty much. So devastated. Absolute legend of a bloke, Campbell Graham. I'd love to know. I'd love to hear more information as to what the thought process was with that decision. Look, not that the Rabbitohs owe me anything, like, at all. Like, I'm a huge fan of the Rabbitohs. Like, you know, everyone knows that. But it just, if put it this way, if I was a Rabbitohs fan, I would be like, I need a bit more clarity as to what's happened here.
It's a little frustrating, yeah.
Like, why are we choosing to get surgery now when we could have done it?
Yeah, and we're not the only ones asking that. Like, look at Instagram. Everyone's asking why wasn't.
What was the process here?
Yeah.
I mean, even if they just came out and said, look, we took the non-surgery option because it was the least invasive, and actually, if you do get surgery, that may not work as well. And so we thought, well, okay, if there's both a chance of it not working, then we'd rather go the non-invasive.
Yep.
You don't want to get surgery. Surgeries are not good regardless of what it is. Then I'd be like, okay, yeah, fair, fair. Or even if they came out and said we were really, really confident, the doctors were really confident that it wouldn't be an issue, and it looks like it has, then you'd be like, okay, well, at the very least, even though I disagree with the thought process, at the very least, there's clarity there.
Correct.
Whereas at the moment, there's not really clarity as to what's happened.
Exactly. We're speculating.
We're just all sitting here speculating. Yeah. And I understand, because if you're a club, you're this huge organisation, and if you come out and say something, that's another headline. It's another week of talking about it. So I get where the clubs are coming from. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not sitting saying, oh, this is just, run of the mill. You should just do this. It's not. There's so many moving parts. But as purely from a fan's perspective, I think clarity would help a lot of people, because it's just like very strange situation.
Yeah, exactly right. Totally
Puts
agree.
a lot of pressure on Jackie Whiten.
Oh, yeah.
Holy. So, like, if Jackie Whiten comes and plays solid whilst Campbell Graham's there, you just be like, yep, good signing. Both good, solid centres did a job. Now, if Jackie Whiten comes and doesn't play, or just plays solid or not too solid, everyone's going, far out, this, that.
Yeah.
We signed him for all this money and blah, blah, blah. And so a lot of pressure on Jackie White.
Huge pressure. Do you think it'll still be Whiten on the left and Tassel move to the right?
Yeah, I think they'll try to keep Whiten and Walker together as much as possible.
Yep.
I'm definitely not stoked that this has happened. I'm a massive fan of Campbell Graham, but I am happy that Isaiah Tass gets a fair crack now at that spot.
Yep.
Because he deserved it, man.
Yeah.
Like, he did not deserve to get brushed. I know, Jackie, obviously, it's a ruthless business. We're in the business of winning. Jackie Whiten, one of the best outside backs in the comp. But, like, purely on, like, effort, he deserved to be in that 17 this year.
For sure, 100%. And he's an NRL player. Again, there's no South fans in the world that would have been upset if Para or something took him because he's a first grader.
Yeah.
He deserves to be playing first grade.
He's a bloody good first grader. And he's still relatively young. Like, he's not old.
Yeah, he's only had, I think, 2 seasons.
He's like 23 or something like that, 24. Yeah. So plenty of footy left in him. Excited to see him get his opportunity. But all in all, I still am really keen on the Rabbitohs. I think I'm really excited for them this year. I want them to go well. They're such an exciting club. They play such good footy. They're so exciting to watch. I'm a big fan of the Rabbitohs, and just how I'm a fan of the whole setup. To be honest, the way they've been able to manage to crawl themselves out of what happened in the early 2000s to where they are now.
Oh, for sure.
Tommy Burgess said he'll will leave the NRL at the end of the season to take up a 3-year deal in Super League with Huddersfield Giants. Look, good timing. Again, that's the thing. Rabbitohs deserve a lot of credit for the way they've handled their squad, their management of squad. This is like perfect timing for Tommy. The last year where you go, okay, if he extended a little bit longer, it might have been just a few years too long. They've timed it perfectly. Totola is now ready to take that spot. You've got Moali, you've got Jay Arrow, you've got Kepi. I think it's perfect timing. And for Tommy Burgess, what a servant of the club.
Well, if he plays every game, he's going to be the second most capped Rabbitoh ever in 120 years.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I love watching him play. Just the amount of times he skittles defenses and just a big body. And also some of the highlights he's had have just been outstanding.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never forget, it was him against the Tigers, that try where they went.
Oh, yeah. Where he made a 50-metre break, scores.
Mate, like, are you serious? Great lad, been such a good servant of the game. Huge, crucial for the club. Almost like a pillar of the resurgence of Rabbitohs. Like, you talk about the Sammy Burgess, the Greg Inglis, Asatasis. You talk about them, but Tommy Burgess has been a pillar in that front row for what, a decade?
Yeah, certainly since 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, a decade. You're right.
And he's been a mainstay, a team that basically can almost guarantee a prelim every single year.
Yep.
Almost. He's been in the front row for that.
Yep.
That is a fair knock.
Absolutely.
That is a fair knock.
Yeah. As you said, he's been a great servant for the club. And, even compared, at the start of their, obviously Sammy's the best one. At the start of their careers, obviously George was the better one, but Tommy turned out to be extremely consistent, extremely durable, just kept improving every year. He's one of our most important players. We're definitely going to miss him. But he's been coming off the bench the last few years and just been so elite. So thank you, Tommy Burgess.
Thanks, Tommy. Big Tommy. And it's a really good story about perseverance. Very easy to get kind of put in the shadows of your brothers. And Sam Burgess will always be, and George as well. But I'm sure there's a lot of people that would put Tom, right up there.
Oh,
with the impact that he's had on the club.
Yeah, you're right. He was in the shadow of George and Sam for the first few years, 100%.
And now, yes, Sammy had huge impact and will probably always be the most impact. Yeah. But when you look at longevity,
for sure,
year on year, Tom's been there
for
the
sure.
whole time.
Well, he's already the most capped Burgess.
Yeah. So that's nothing to sneeze at. That's nothing to sneeze at. Alrighty, brought to you by Bloke Beer. Get into your local, grab a case of Bloke Beer. First trials this week. Some unofficial preseason games begin this week. You got the Bronx versus Wynnum, Dolphins versus Capras, South versus Manly. There could be anything trials. And also, announcement, next Monday, the first ever Could Be Anything episode of Bloke is happening. That is right. The Monday review show will be the Could Be Anything show. And, we'll do the normal Monday review stuff, but we'll be going over our Could Be Anythings. Myself, Guru, Timmy, Matty, Hammy will actually also be selecting the Could Be Anything class of 2024.
Very
That is
exciting.
correct. The Could Be Anything class of 2024 is getting selected on Monday's show. We will be doing it every single year the week after the first trial. So every Monday comes around after this trial every year, we'll be doing the Could Be Anything show. It's a normal Monday review show, guys. Don't worry, we're reviewing everything. But we also select our class of 2024, Could Be Anything, next year with the class of 2025. And we'll be going through the trials from the weekend and like talking about your club's up-and-comers and all that stuff. And even the teams that didn't play, we'll be talking about your club's up-and-comers. That's on Monday. Set your bloody alarms. We got another announcement on the Monday show too as well. And trust me,
Ooh, that's a big one.
you're going to like this announcement. It is fucking sick. So good. So we've got Broncos versus Wynnum, Dolphins versus Capras, South versus Manly. Guys, I'm keen to watch Dolphins versus Capras. I am really, really keen to see Tafade.
Yep.
I'm really, really keen to see the big fella because, you know, he's kind of fell back down in the pecking order with everything that happened with, you know, coming back out of shape, all that stuff. But him with a head on straight, ripping and tearing, could be one of those bolters that somehow, some way, jag a spot in the first round spot team.
I mean, he was that guy last year that just kind of came out of nowhere. Everyone was excited to see him because he'd absolutely torn up reserve grade, and then just killed it at Magic Round. I've got a question for you just based off this team list. So obviously we talked about on Monday the team makeup. There was rumours that Bostock would play wing. So in this trial, they've got Tessie New playing centre and Bostock playing wing. Do you reckon that's telling it all as to what could be the round one team?
Yeah, well, there's been whispers Bostock has got that, well, the first run at it. I'm really interested to see how, like, that's what's so exciting about the Dolphins side. There are genuine depth and players, positions up for grabs. Another guy I'm keen to watch is Mason Teague at 13.
Yep.
Very, very keen. Highly touted junior from Penrith, I'm pretty sure. Good sort too, which can't hurt. And, really keen because that 13 role for Dolphins, you'd have to say they don't have like an out-and-out modern 13. They've got 13s, but they're like almost old school 13s,
sure,
like
yeah.
third run front rowers to a degree that can kind of ball play. So it will be interesting to see if Mason Teague can offer that ball playing kind of 13 role. He may end up fighting his way into the team by the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Another one, Kurt Donahue. I think we saw him a little bit last year in the trials, but he's another one that I've seen floating around. So
Yep.
yeah, so pumped to see these trials. It's so good to watch these young fellas run around.
Yep. Rabbitohs versus Manly. Some people to look at. Really interesting. Braden Burns is at fullback.
Yeah, so Burns isn't top 30. He signed a
the
New South
Rezzies.
Wales Cup contract.
Yeah. So, I wonder, it's also interesting. So Munro is not in this team.
No.
So basically, you'd have to assume he's locked in to start the year then.
Yeah.
With
You
definitely with Campbell Graham
think
out.
so?
Tass in the centres, him on the wing. So I wonder whether is Burns going to be put at one as a backup fullback potentially for Latrell Mitchell.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, he wouldn't be able to play till round 11, but yeah. Or I think that's the rule. But
Also,
yeah, potentially.
interesting, Mamazelis is not named.
Yeah, I noticed that one too.
So again, that may be he's close to a start this year.
Yep. I wonder if and Tane's at centre, so I wonder they obviously knew about the Campbell Graham thing, so maybe they're getting him ready for round 1 and 2 because I assume he's going to be the one to play there.
Yep. But yeah, really exciting to watch that match. Broncos. Blake Moser starting 9.
Yep.
So that, I guess, would suggest he is still a little bit, like he could probably fight his way onto the bench round 1 if he kills it, but still a little bit away from the first grade side. So you'd have to say right now, if the team selected is Billy Walters and Smoothie at 14, which is fine. Like Moser is still 19, I think, turning 20, so super young. Outside of that, you've got Dean Manoran at 5, which is very interesting that he's not at centre because he actually, I think, has played centre at Q Cup for a while now. So they must be looking at him purely as, well, I mean, not purely. He may move into that centre position, but they must be looking at him battling for that vacant wing spot, even though I would have Arthurs there.
Yeah.
If he kills it though, and Corey Oates doesn't kill it, or Arthurs doesn't kill it, he may get the jump.
Yep.
So he's one to watch. But the main guy to watch, two main guys to watch outside of Moser is Ben Takota, Takota, and Xavier Willison. If you're a Broncos fan, watch these two boys, 8 and 10. Very, very exciting. The fact that we usually squads have one of these guys coming through.
Yeah.
Like just one at the. There's two. Him and Dakota, both absolute young guns. Now, have they proved themselves in first grade yet? No. But if you're a Broncos fan or any fan, watch those two boys because there's a lot of chat about them.
Yeah, I think this Broncos trial is the one I'm most excited about this weekend out of the three, just because there's so many, there's so many of these guys that could potentially fight their way into this team round one. So, yeah, I'm keen for this Broncos. Is Takora is he the really, really big one?
Real big one.
Yeah.
Big boy.
So apparently if he debuts, he's going to be the tallest player to ever play the game.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Willison's big as well. Like they're both
Willison's huge too.
Massive. Interesting that Saylor's on the bench. You'd had to assume he'd almost cemented himself as the next man up at fullback. Not to say that he should be starting. What I'm saying is that you would assume he'd be in the next trial, like locked in for the next trial. Maybe it's because of the Vegas situation happening. But really interested to see some of these young guns though. Really, really interested. Another guy, Ethan Quaywood. He's a little bit older now, but he's a bloody good player. Kurt Falls.
Yep.
Keen to see him. But okay, the guy that I was talking about the other day, Cody Black. Black,
yep.
number 18. Decent raps on him. I haven't seen much of him. I've just seen his highlights, but apparently he goes well. I think he plays for Wynnum, so he'll be playing against his own team, I think. But just watch him when he comes on to see how he goes, because you're probably looking at the moment, the guy the Broncos are hoping becomes the 7 long-term behind. If Madden doesn't turn out to be the 7, which maybe he will, you'd say Cody Black is like the young 18-year-old 7 that they're going, okay, we'll have a look at him, see how he goes. If Madden doesn't work out, which we hope he does, maybe it's Black. Kurt Falls was decent last year as well, but I think Cody Black is the real young guy coming through.
Cool. As I said, very excited to see this team.
Manly, I am very... So who was it? Was it Humphreys that apparently is getting big raps there?
Yes, at hooker.
Like might
Jamie
jag
Humphreys.
the bench spot?
Yeah.
Sorry, because Croker's not back the first few rounds, is he?
Let me check. I don't know.
I think cause someone said he'll have Croker's spot for the first couple of rounds, maybe. Anyway, so I'm really interested to see how he goes, Humphreys, because the chat around him has been massive. And then also interested to see Jordan Chan Kum Tong go, see how he goes. It's just like so important, because there are so many players in this Manly squad that it's important that they click and go well. Like this is got a lot of first graders in it.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be like, there's so many people that they've recruited where you go, it could be rocks or diamonds. It could be the great signings or like, same attitude, blah, blah, blah. What do you got there?
No, I can't see anything on Croker, which probably says to me that he's playing.
Then.
Yeah.
So basically, the yarn is Humphreys might jag a bench spot, which I can't wait to see Chan Kum Tong, because I thought he would probably be the guy. But all eyes will be obviously on Luke Brooks.
Yeah.
All eyes on Luke Brooks to see how he goes.
And he's as shit as it is, he's definitely under pressure, even in the trials. Because if
he's under pressure to a degree, but like he's under pressure because he's got a big profile, but he's actually not under pressure internally, I don't think.
Right. Yeah.
Because all he has to do is just do his job. DCE can do the tough stuff, like all the crazy stuff. So internally, all they need him to do is be just a good, solid 6. Whereas like at Tigers, internally, they needed him to be the saviour.
Yeah.
So externally, there's probably pressure. Internally, I don't think there'd be much pressure on him.
Yeah, fair enough. But as you said, all eyes are going to be on him. And geez, he looks weird and not a Tigers jersey.
Yeah, it does look strange, doesn't it?
I think it suits him. But yeah, he's one of my most players just to be excited for this year. Like, it was the divorce that we've all been waiting for. So, yeah, I hope he kills it. I really do. And I think most people do.
Yeah. I think so. If you like rugby league, you should hope Brooks. I mean, what has he really ever done to anyone? I understand, yes, you could say his performances haven't been great, for sure. Like, he's had years where you definitely could have asked more of him.
Yeah.
But, like, you always want to see a bounce back story.
For sure.
You always want to. That's what rugby league's about, is second chances.
Yeah.
Anyway, as usual, grab a case of bloke beer and we'll go and fuck ourselves. Thank you.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.